Tennessee for Busch Racing. It's the More Snacks 250. Going into this sixth race of the 1998 season, a tight points race. Mike McLaughlin on top by just 3 over Buckshot Jones. Randy LaJoie going for his 3rd straight championship. The defending winner of this race, Jeff Burton, is down in 8th place, and the entire top 10 separated by less than 100 points. 1998 has seen a lot of good running by the younger drivers, and it continues this weekend.
I love the movie Back to the Future. It's got a nutty professor, a cool car, and in the end, Michael J. Fox gets the girl. Perfect. Well, the Busch series isn't going back to the future. Instead, they're building a new one. Take a look at the front of this field. 23-year-old Dale Earnhardt Jr. sat outside the front row here last summer. Yesterday, he picked up a spot, and race fans are looking forward to what's behind him. More young faces, challenging places, and exciting races. But this isn't the movies, and we don't always get a happy ending, especially at Bristol, often cast as an evil villain. So the Academy is waiting. Benny could be our nutty professor, and we've got lots of cool cars. So the only question is, who's going to get the girl?
Well, Bill, I love any Tom Cruise movie because he always gets the girl. But one of my favorites has to be Days of Thunder. You know, his character in that movie, Cole Trickle, could do anything with a race car. He'd go low, go high, slam it into the wall, and we'd see sparks and smoke come off it, and he'd still win the race. Well, today at Bristol, it might be another Tom Cruise movie, one called Top Gun, because these guys right here will be going around this track in 15.5 seconds. It's loud down here in the pit area, and it's a lot like flying a jet airplane. But it might be the experienced pilots that go to victory lane today. Guys like Dale Jarrett or Phil Parsons have both won here before. But they'll be pitting on the backstretch, and that's where I'll be to call all the action. And right now, let's go high atop the Bristol Motor Speedway to Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and Kyle Petty.
All right, thank you, Ray. Well, let me get this straight. We've got some inexperienced drivers up front, some experienced drivers in the back. This is Bristol. Isn't that a recipe for excitement, not Kyle?
I think excitement and Bristol mean the same thing. I tell you what, you run around in here in 15.5, 16-second laps, you never spend too much time in one place. Not in the corner, not on the straightaway. So when something happens, it gets exciting for everybody.
Kyle and folks, I'll tell you one reason the young guys are having so much luck here. They like this racetrack. They don't know, like Bob Jenkins said, the meanest, toughest racetrack on the circuit. They don't realize that, and they like the place. After a couple of races, you'll find them back in the middle of the pack.
The engines have just been fired, and now here's your Suzuki starting lineup. The pole sitter is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and alongside him will be Buckshot Jones. Row number 2, Elliott Sadler, and driver in his first Busch race here at Bristol, Kevin Grubb. Row number 3, Blaze Alexander and Andy Santerre, the current rookie points leader. 4th row, Randy LaJoie, the 2-time and defending series champion, and Winston Cup veteran Michael Waltrip. Row 5, Elton Sawyer and sprint car driver Dave Blaney. The 6th row, Jimmy Foster and the defending winner of this race, Jeff Burton. The 7th row, Matt Kenseth and Glenn Allen. In row number 8, Hermie Sadler and Pep Boys IRL 97 champion Tony Stewart. The 9th row, Jeff Purvis and Kelly Denton. In row number 10, Ron Barfield and another young driver, Casey Atwood, who was on the pole at Nashville a few weeks ago. Take a look now at the rest of the starting lineup. There are 13 drivers in the 43-car field that will be starting their very first Busch race here today.
That was our points leader back in the 13th row, McLaughlin. Patty Moise, pretty good start for her up in row 14. DJ has won here. He's back in row 15, like Ray Dunlap said, a long ways to the front. One reason this racetrack is so tough, it's banked 36 degrees in the corner, but the groove is on the very bottom of the racetrack, and they go around the racetrack so doggone fast. Passing becomes very, very difficult. You can see the black marks in the corner, just how narrow that groove is. Visual, see Matt Hunter. He crashed a car in qualifying yesterday. Had to go to a backup car.
And Mike Wallace did the same thing in happy hour last evening, and he's gone to a backup car. Mike Cope will have the 43rd and final starting position for today's 250-lap race here at Bristol Motor Speedway, which now seats 130,000 fans. And there are doggone close to 100,000 fans here for this race today. And, of course, every one of those seats will be filled tomorrow when the Food City 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race gets the green flag.
Huge crowd. And see the front stretch. You see the gray spot up here? That is new pavement. They moved this new concrete. Actually, they moved that retaining wall back 4 feet and put in some new concrete. That's going to really help the drivers as they exit turn 4 and go down in turn 1.
Well, as you know, Jerry Punch normally does the play-by-play on the support races on Saturday, but Jerry is not here today. The entire ESPN family expresses its deepest sympathies to Dr. Punch and his family. Early this morning, Jerry's mother, Betty Jo, passed away after a short illness. Doc, we love you. We're thinking about you and your entire family. Now begin to roll from pit road onto the racetrack itself. Speed limit on pit road today is 45 miles an hour, and that's the speed they'll take for the first couple of laps just to get the drivers acquainted with that speed.
That's exactly right. As the pace car runs that speed, the driver will look at the tachometer and whatever gear he may be in and say, okay, I'm turning 3,200 in second gear. That's what speed I need to go down pit road at.
We had 5 drivers that were unable to make the field here this afternoon. Robert Presley, Derek Hope, and Hank Parker. Both Schwantz and Amick crashed prior to qualifying and did not have a backup car, so they were unable to get into the field.
Robert Presley was high enough in the points to take a provisional, although there is a NASCAR rule that a Winston Cup driver in the top 35 in points is not eligible for a NASCAR Busch Series provisional, so Robert did not qualify, had to go home.
Well, we'll go 250 laps here this afternoon. The race record is held by Harry Gant. Dale Earnhardt Jr. qualified at 122.2. They'll need a pit stop between laps 100 and 120 or thereabouts. And the purse exceeds $400,000. Today's field made up of 28 Chevys, 9 Fords, and 6 Pontiacs. Right now in the Busch Series Grand National Division, Chevrolet leads the points with 40 over Ford and Pontiac, who have a pretty good battle going there for second place.
Onboard camera with Mike Wallace. That's the Big A Auto Parts onboard camera. Kevin Page, a Channel Lock Chevrolet, started back in 35th spot. Dick Trickle, the Snyder National. Dick Trickle has to go to the very back of the field. He missed driver introduction. Here's the 34 car, the Briggs and Stratton onboard camera with Mike McLaughlin. Our points leader started back in 26th spot. This is Jeff Burton's car. 1-800-GO NASCAR. Look at Jeff Burton. He's due for a win. He's led 350 miles, led 285 laps, and let's see if he can do it today as the green flag is waved.
Some bumping and banging and gouging and shoving out there in the first 2 laps, but everybody has their car headed in the right direction as Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the field with Buckshot right behind him, and then it's Elliott Sadler.
Someone said it's like flying jet airplanes in a gymnasium.
That's a quote from Dick Trickle, and I think he used that originally to describe a stock car race at Anderson Speedway, which is a quarter-mile racetrack in Indiana, but it certainly applies here too.
Buckshot keeps looking. That's a 0-0 car. Keeps looking on the inside of the 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Oh, a spin. Hard throw. He's gone down. He's going to pick it up. Hits the wall. Caution flag gets out.
Krogh got just a little bit out of that black area there in the groove in turns 1 and 2. Lost it, slid up, banged the wall, but now has the car going again.
We can see the damage to the left rear quarter panel of the car, left rear fender. Doesn't look too bad, does it, Kyle?
Not terribly bad, but any little bit's going to hurt him here. He gets a little high right there. He gets up in the loose stuff. The racetrack's kind of dirty up in there, and it just spins around him. You watch the car goes up and backs in with the left front first, and then kind of comes up. He's on the brakes, and the car's still trying to slide down the race car track. That's the bad part about Bristol. Things happen in front of you, and you're on the brakes. They're on the brakes, but nobody's stopping.
And look at all these cars. If he drifts down, but fortunately he stays there long enough.
First caution, though, waves over Bristol Motor Speedway as just 5 laps have been completed in the Busch race. Stand by for more action. Back in a moment. Green. Now, the Busch Series has gone to the same point system as Winston Cup this year, and so it's very important for Buckshot Jones to get up there and lead a lap.
That's right. There's 5 bonus points for leading a single lap. But right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is clicking all those laps off. Of course, if he leads 249. Oh, here goes Buckshot.
Oh, they go in side by side, and Earnhardt has to give it room, and Buckshot Jones takes the lead.
At a good pace now, good and smooth.
Buckshot's a little bit faster through the center of the corner and up off right now, and Dale Jr., that was a smart move. This early in the race, pull over and let him lead if he wants to lead.
Elliott Sadler still running third, then Kevin Grubb and Blaze Alexander. Side-by-side action here as Jimmy Foster in the 50 car gets shoved out in the low groove.
Matt Kenseth, the 17. Jeff Burton goes by. Michael Walker right behind Jeff Burton. And then Jimmy Foster, the Dr. Pepper car.
Foster running just outside the top 10 now. Dropped back to 12th position when he lost a couple of spots. Here is Burton moving to the inside of Kenseth. Meanwhile, Grubb now challenges Elliott Sadler for 3rd spot. Wow. And here comes Blaze Alexander of the 20 car.
19 years old. Kevin Grubb, the 52 driver.
Quite a gap has opened up between 2nd and 3rd. Elliott leading this group of cars now into turn 1.
About a 2nd and 3/4 already. And our spin off the corner. 2, 3, 4 cars. 5 cars. 6, 7.
And that's typical Bristol.
Typical Bristol, like we said at the beginning. Excitement, because exciting things happen, and they happen in front of you. Nothing you can do.
And a lot of damage to Mike Wallace's Big A Auto Parts automobile. See the hood all buckled up.
Everybody trying to get their machine going again, and all but 2 have. Ed Barrier and Jimmy Foster continue to sit down here. Now the 77 car begins to move away, but can't.
He's got a lot of damage to the left side of the Lear car, and there's some rear damage to the 50 car. Yeah, look at the left side damage to that automobile.
There's Jimmy Foster. He crashed in practice before qualifying. Here's a replay of what happened. Foster was losing positions. We documented that. It looked like no help, just got sideways.
Just jumped out from under him coming up off the corner, and everybody begins to check up. And like we said before, 15.5, 16-second lap. The spotter doesn't have time to key the mic and say wreck. 3 seconds are gone, and you're on top of it. And that's the way it is, and here's the way it shows up.
Wow.
Take a look at another angle of the incident down in turn 1.
There we see someone bounced off the wall. That was a 77 car that bounced off the wall. Joe Bessie, a lot of contact, heavy contact. There comes Patty Moise, the 14 car spinning through. Looks like Dale Jarrett up against the outside retaining wall. Take a look from a Briggs and Stratton onboard camera. Going in turn 3, coming off turn 4. The wreck's going to happen right in front of him.
He was very, very lucky to get through that. Did Kevin LePage? Let's watch.
Kevin LePage was stopping. Seemed like he had everything going his way, but someone ran in the back of him and spun his car out.
There's Joe Bessie's car, the Chevy that's behind the wall. They'll try to get him back in the race, assess the damage. Ray Dunlap, what's going on in your area?
Well, I'm right down where Kevin LePage's channel lock Chevy is, and you can see they're doing some work on the front end here, but the big problem was they weren't able to get the left front tire back on because of that damage to the front. Took them quite a bit of time to get it beat out. They said they're going to have to come back in and work on it. Bill Weber.
With that barrier, a short day for you. What happened out there, Ed?
I had an accident there coming off forward, you know, and started slowing up for it. I guess just got run over from behind. The rest of them guys didn't see it. And things happen so fast here, you know, you ain't really got time to, a lot of times, to just run over people in front of you. And we checked up and was trying to miss it. And I don't know, just got tagged up from behind. And just hate it for the Lear people and, you know, the UAW and all the people that help on this car. The guys work so hard, and we just can't get a monkey off our back. You know, it's been rough 3 weeks here, and, you know, it ain't necessarily all your fault all the time, and it's just one of them deals.
You're limping a little bit. You okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay. Well, it's a cliche, but that's not a monkey. That's a gorilla on their back. They have really had some promising runs and some disappointing finishes.
Now let's take a look at this from Mike Wallace's onboard camera. All four corners of that thing are damaged.
Looks like it. And again, he crashed yesterday afternoon, so Dick Trickle takes a look. He's right behind Jeff Krogh, and we know Krogh was in the crash. He just touched Mike Wallace as he got by, didn't he, Kyle?
Yeah, just barely on his right front right there. So, you know, and you saw Krogh up there. Krogh got into it. They started into the accident really fast. He got on the brakes and spins by himself, but there's really nothing you can do at that point.
So the caution continues to wave here at Bristol. We're 20 of 250 laps into the race. Buckshot Jones is the leader. This is the crash that has caused our first caution of the afternoon. Back with more from Bristol in a moment. Beautiful overhead shot showing this magnificent stadium here now, with seats completely around the half mile at Bristol. 130,000 seats available for the spectators. These overhead shots, by the way, are courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam, flying in some beautiful blue East Tennessee skies this afternoon. Well, last time around they had given the 1 to go signal, but now they have waved it off and will go a couple of other laps. Ray, what happened? Looks like there's a lot of water down there.
Well, Bob, that first crash out on the racetrack was typical Bristol, but you don't very often see a crash under caution like this one. As Mark Green was coming down off of the turn trying to come onto pit road, he locked up the brakes and slid sideways, and he ran into one of the water barriers, which holds the cars so they don't run into the pit wall. And it spilled over, and a lot of water got out on the racetrack, but some guys have been out there, they've swept it up, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Wow. We're still not going, will not be going green this time. The cars that were in the crash all lined up on the inside because they're now a lap down. Bill Weber, Earnhardt Jr. has lost the lead to Buckshot. Everything okay?
Everything's fine now, Benny. In those early laps when he was leading, Dale Jr. was saying my car's loose, loose, loose. Well, Dale Earnhardt Sr., his dad told him, you just settle down now. The 00 is tucked up right behind you. That's creating your car being a little bit loose. So after the 00 went around the 3, Earnhardt Jr. said the car is much better now. I like the way it's handling. I'm fighting it a little bit in 1 and 2, but it is awesome in 3 and 4.
Still waiting for the 1 to go signal. There is Dale Earnhardt Sr. watching his son competing here this afternoon. Well, you can fire up your laptop and stop by NASCAR online at www.nascar.com, where you can be a part of ESPN and NASCAR's celebration of 50 years by casting your vote to who you think is going to carry NASCAR's torch into the new millennium. The Future NASCAR Legends Award will be given out at NASCAR's Night in Hollywood, a golden celebration. That'll bring together entertainment, celebrities, and athletes on the night of May 2nd at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Benny, you talk about big events. This is going to be a very big event as we get to rub noses with the big celebrities in Hollywood.
And I'll be there.
So
I'll be right there.
And
just
so will Kyle.
Shoulder to shoulder, right, Kyle?
Absolutely.
Shoulder to shoulder with everybody that you see in the movies, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right.
And you can watch it live with us at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturday night, May the 2nd. We would be delighted for you to join us for that celebration in Hollywood.
Now, we're going back green. Racing, the pace car is off the racetrack. Our leader, Buckshot Jones. will be bringing them down.
Go in the wind. Get ready. Okay, here they come. Get ready. Get ready. Go. Go. Green, green, green. They're all around you.
Those cars a lot down, starting inside the others. It presents a bit of a problem because the preferred line here, of course, is down low. So there's a big scramble every time we have a green after a caution.
Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr., now he's got some clean air behind him to get some downforce, trying to get back by Buckshot Jones.
There's Blaze Alexander in the 20 car as he is able to pass by Lance Cooper driving 23. Lance is a lap down, so he's not losing positions here.
I think he's one of those cars in the crash.
That big crash. The big crash here on the front stretch.
Jeff Burton trying to work his way towards the front. That's Andy Santerre, the 47 car, directly in front of him.
Now he's moved up 3 positions from 12th to his current 9th place.
And looks like 8.
That's Andy Santerre in the 47 that he just got by. Here comes Michael Waltrip at the 21 to try to get by him. And coming out of the second turn. Here's a race summary panel. Buckshot Jones on top right now. We've had 2 caution periods. They're clear.
Matt Kenseth gets by as well. Andy Santerre is doing the smart thing, folks. You can see this groove. It's very narrow on the outside. The car is just not able to run fast enough to maintain with those other cars. So wise thing to do is back off. Maybe the cars in front start slowing down, and then you can repass them.
Matt Kenseth there in the 17 car was the winner earlier this year at Rockingham as he and Tony Stewart had a great battle to the checkered flag. Now we go back further in the field. There is Tony Stewart, the 44 car. He missed the race last week at Darlington because he was running the Pet Boys IRL event in Phoenix. Back in a Busch Series ride here this weekend.
The 75 car is Kelly Denton. Remember, that young man ran some ARCA races, ran a few Busch races, or truck races, I should say. This car is owned by Charlie Henderson locally, and he has chosen a local driver, Kelly Denton, to drive it. The Bristol Motor Speedway.
Kelly's running in 15th position. Tony Stewart there is in 14th. And here are the way the Fords are running in the upper left box.
What if
second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth belong to Chevys. Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99 goes inside of Cooper. There's Mike McLaughlin, the current points leader, in the 34.
This is looking back when Mike McLaughlin's rear bumper. That Lance Hooper, he just got hung on the outside and cannot get back to the inside. Almost a steady stream of traffic around this half-mile speedway.
There's the interval between first and second as Jones continues to lead Dale Earnhardt Jr. The interval is 0.3 of a second in terms of time, but it's only about 3 car lengths in distance. Here's 6th and 7th. That's Randy LaJoie. Eldon Sawyer right behind him. Then Jeff Burton in the 9 car. And Michael Waltrip also running with this group. Meanwhile, the leader is coming up on some very heavy traffic, and it will be interesting to see how...
Oh, they've got a car in the wall.
Right in front of the leaders as they... That's Casey Atwood in the 28 car, who was the star of the show at Nashville a few weeks ago, winning the pole and finishing in second position. There is no caution. Atwood's car still rolling. He'll take it to the pits.
Right in front of the leaders.
Look at this mess.
Wow. There's Buckshot. Kyle, what do you do now? You pray?
Just pray and bide your time. This is where these guys, we're talking about young drivers, this is where patience is going to have to pay off for them. They've got to wait and work their way through this, you know.
Going on the outside, but you got slow cars up high. You're going to be all right.
If working as well as it should be, you'll pick your way through them little by little.
Now the leader is the 00. Second
Clear all
is the
around
number
you.
3 car. We saw Earnhardt in the 3 go high and challenge Buckshot for the lead. However, now that they've both gotten out of that huge line of traffic, it is still Jones in the lead.
Now, which way does Buckshot go? Does he try to go the inside or outside? Whichever way he doesn't go, the 3 car is going the other direction.
It's Matt Hutter in the 36. They're coming up.
They're all around you.
He's running in 29th position.
And the reason the yellow car, the 36 Hutter, just doesn't pull over and let the leader go is if the caution flag were to come out, he can make up an entire half mile. Almost some contact off the corner.
Look at this. Look at the fastest.
They're all around you.
The 66 car is being
Get your
right
rhythm
into the
down.
fray here, just because of the way they're caught in traffic.
Yep. Jarrett had the fastest lap that last time around.
But now that these guys are in clean racetrack, well, I say they're clean racetrack, the 37 car, another lap car directly in front of them, Mark Green.
Jeff Burton has come to the pits, and the hood has
They're
come
all
out of
around
the
you.
car.
Let's work on that rhythm. Good and smooth.
There's a word that I'm sure the spotter will use many times today, Kyle. Rhythm, as we see Burton and the work going on in his cars.
It is. It's a rhythm that you get into at a place like this. As we talked before, you run 15 and a half, 16-second laps. It just becomes second nature. On the gas, off the gas. On the gas, off the gas. And the smoother you can be and the easier you can be on your tires, and the better off you're going to be. And this is, you know, it's hard to put patience and a 16-second lap in the same sentence, but you've got to be patient when you run 16-second laps.
Bill, what's going on with Jeff Burton down there?
No more racing is going on. It's a water pump problem. Burton's flying from the car. He's done for the day. Water pump problem. He's going to talk it over with his crew chief and the rest of the guys. But Burton's days done early. Very disappointing. We'll try and get a word over here in a second.
Watching 5th and 6th position here. Blaze Alexander is in 5th and LaJoy in 6th.
Slow car on the bottom of the
And
racetrack.
Casey Atwood, the 17-year-old young man, also they're pushing his car behind the wall.
We've got some cars that are on the move and have moved up
Let me
to
get you
their
this one.
starting
Go ahead. You
position.
can take him.
Phil Parsons started 39th. He's up to 24th. Dale Jarrett started 29th. He is up to 19th. But there will not be a repeat winner here at Bristol in the spring race. Jeff Burton took the checkered flag last year, but his car is behind the wall in the early going of our race this year. Back in a moment. 59 out of 250 laps completed in the Busch Series More Snacks 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway. The leader on the right of your screen is Buckshot Jones, and behind him is Dale Earnhardt Jr. running first and second. And a car in the wall up in turn number 2 is Jeff Krogh in 56.
And the caution flag is out. The caution flag waves.
Meanwhile, they go high and low to miss Krogh. Mark, his brother, went high to miss him. Meanwhile, Jeff brings the car down onto pit road. Another Jeff Burton is out of the race. Bill's with him.
The day's over for the track to your Ford. What happened, Jeff?
Well, everybody got checked up in front of me. I got slowed down and thought everything was fine. And then when we caught all the lap traffic, they checked up one more time. And I was right behind the 38 car and just didn't get slowed down. Punched him in the back, and when it did, it pushed the radiator back and knocked a hole in the radiator. So, end of the day.
How's the track?
Track's good. It's a little bit slippery, I guess. You know, really, if you think about it, this is about as hot as we ever race when we're here. Even though it's concrete, even in the Winston Cup car, it seems like the track's more slippery than it ever has been.
Okay, he's out, but some of the leaders are on pit road.
Yes, indeed. Those on the lead lap and those that are pitted here on the front stretch are coming in. It's a busy place down in front of us as Dale Earnhardt Jr. rolls to a stop.
Oh, back up. He's got to back up. It's going to cost him a lot of time. He was over the yellow line. We see him making a chassis adjustment on the rear Panhard bar, or the Panhard bar. Bill Weber.
Well, they do continue to work on the left side. Buckshot's right behind him. Buckshot takes off, waiting on the left front. Now on the street car, and he scurries away, followed by a host of traffic. To the backstretcher, Ray Dunlap.
Well, Bill, Mike McLaughlin is the point leader, and he has the very first pit here on the backstretch. The Goulds Pump Chevrolet is in. They'll take on 4 tires, as well as Phil Parsons, Shane Hall, and a host of others, including Tim Fiedel. Well, all those drivers are coming in here just after 64 laps for their first set of tires.
McLaughlin back on the racetrack now. Phil Parsons also rolling out.
Replay what's going to happen. You're going to see up in this corner. Just take a look at this corner as we go down in the corner. And there we see Crow go in, and boom, slides up and in the outside retaining wall. And Kyle, he just never could get control of the car.
No, and once he got in the wall, you know, he got in the corner, but you can see the rear end right back. If you could back that up, see the car going down through here? He's busted the track bar in this thing, and the body's swinging left and right at 80 or 90 miles an hour. He's doing a good job just to keep the thing going straight.
And that's probably the reason that he hit the wall to begin with. He goes down the corner, and the rear Panhard bar breaks, and you saw the body just waving back and forth.
Well, after the pit stops, the leader is Blaze Alexander. He did not stop, so he's at the front of the field here as we clean up the track and get set once again for more racing in the Moore's Snack 250 here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Come on up and ready. Go. Green.
I guess they're green, huh?
I think so. I was surprised. They did not have a very good lineup on that thing. The 40 car, Kevin LePage, and the 72 of Mike Dillon were trying to figure out who should go in that spot, and Dillon now is going backwards.
I think that Dillon was the lead lap car, though. He was trying to get the 40 car of LePage out of the way.
You see Mike Dillon, Detroit gas car number 72, was running in second spot on the restart and is falling backwards.
57 of Jason Keller shown in second position. Buckshot Jones is third, then Elliott Sadler and Dillon, who's dropped back to fifth.
You know, I think one thing that happened with Dillon, that right as they came back to take the green, they were 3 wide down here in 3 and 4, and he was up in the marbles and the loose stuff. I'm not sure that his tire is awfully dirty, and he may have been trying to run a little bit in and run some of that off.
There's the leader, the 20 car, Blaze Alexander. We'll just keep the camera there and watch all the cars go by. Check out the paint job of your favorite driver. Now we're back to Blaze Alexander.
Addie Moise behind him, but she is, let me see how many laps down she is. Just one, I guess. Yep.
And Kevin LePage, the channel lock car, is slow off the corner. Now seems to be back up to speed as Randall and Joy trying to get by.
Good job, baby. Nice and smooth.
17th of Kenseth is 9th at the moment. There's the 44 car of Tony Stewart, who is running in 10th. Ron Barfield in car 2 is a lap down. But the 38 of Elton Sawyer is challenging Tony Stewart.
And Dick Trickle, the 64 car, is a lap down. I don't think that we told you that he made an unscheduled pit stop just before the caution flag came out. He is 1 lap down. That's why he's trying his best to catch Blaze Alexander, hopefully to pass him, and then hope a caution flag comes out.
Watch Trickle try to come up on the leader, Blaze Alexander, and unlap himself. Scoring is showing Dick 2 laps down, as a matter of fact. The 52 of Grubb a little sideways there, but he's in a great battle with Sadler and Earnhardt. Trickle is a lap down, started in 28th position, currently 30th. And he is still trying to get that lap back.
He's caught the 16 to 20 car. I I said he was a lap down. I'm sorry, he's 2 laps down the leader. I should have known that he could not pit, change 4 tires, and do it in 1 lap.
Car kept him from spinning around, didn't it?
And no caution flag.
And no caution.
How about that? Nice job by Blaze Alexander, but the left front of that car is damaged pretty badly. Here now is Buckshot Jones, who has taken over the lead of the race once again.
Yeah, I don't think that helped Trickle much to get into Blaze and get him a little out of shape there, because while they were up there sideways, here comes the leader back around Trickle to put him 2 laps down.
Work on the rhythm.
Right, Kyle. When they get up out of that groove, there seems to be loose stuff there, and the car really becomes snaky.
Yep.
Here we are, just a couple of laps ago, going down in the corner. Blaze Alexander to 20. Dick Trickle, 64, trying to get under him, and right there, a little bit of nudge.
Just a little nudge, and it's a nudge in the wrong place. It's a nudge like right as you get to the center of the corner. Blaze does a good job of hanging on, and he gets into Trickle, but look at the leader catching him, how fast the leader catches up to him as they're sideways.
Another angle. There's the touch. Here's the contact, and Dick Trickle has taken his car to the pits.
Yeah, he got hit right in the right rear. It could have been a trailing arm or knocked it over.
From the Pennzoil copter cam, again, we see the contact between Trickle and Blaze Alexander. Well, Blaze has dropped all the way back to 9th spot as Buckshot Jones has the lead. Elliott Sadler now 2nd. It doesn't take much contact to cause a problem here at Bristol.
Watch, you can see daylight. Now all of a sudden, right there, I could probably take my hand and push that car around, couldn't I, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm not sure that from one angle it looks like Trickle gets him. From another angle it doesn't look like Trickle gets him at all. But it's so close at that point in time. It doesn't take much, a little bit of wind. Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked about it before when the 0 was tucked up under him, 0-0 Buckshot, how loose his car got. You know, I think Blaze just got a little bit of loose there, and Trickle just drove by him on the inside, and they got together.
So there's Blaze Alexander, who's dropped back to 9th now. Stewart and Elton Sawyer right behind him. By the way, Blaze celebrated his 22nd birthday last Thursday. With a lead of a little more than 3/4 of a second, it is Buckshot Jones. Sadler is in 2nd. Kevin Grubb having a great race, running in 3rd spot. Then Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jason Keller. 6 through 10, LaJoie, Kenseth, Dillon, Alexander, and Stewart. Back with more after this.
You knew that, right?
Hey, sports fan, do you know where to find us?
Caution is out once again, and again the victim was Blaze Alexander, and he damaged the car a lot more this time than he did the first time. The caution, the 4th of the afternoon, waves as we near the 100 lap mark.
Yeah, there's lots of damage to this car. As a matter of fact, the rear of the car is dragging the ground. So if he's able to continue, it will be at a much reduced pace.
Former ARCA driver in his 7th start in the NASCAR Busch Series. Here's the replay of what happened. Tony Stewart was right behind him along with Elton Sawyer.
Going down in the corner, and
Ooh, he gets hit before he ever gets to the corner.
I would think that Blaze Alexander backed off to go in the corner a little bit sooner than Tony Stewart thought he would, and touched him in the rear. Wouldn't you think, Kyle?
Yeah, that's just, you know, there you see the contact right there before you ever get to the corner. And, you know, Blaze's car's already got some damage on it, so he's probably checking up a little bit. And Tony just runs in on him and just bumps him in the rear. And you see the car. He slides from turn 1 all the way to turn 2 with all 4 wheels locked.
Once again, the Pennzoil copter cam will give us a view, and I mean, it just doesn't, it takes so little. And look at all these cars. How in the world all these cars miss him is beyond me. Andy Santerre just barely gets under him.
The 34 car drove through another one.
Our Bridgman Stratton onboard camera. Watch this. When you see them going up the hill, Kyle, you hit the gas as hard as you can. Want to get by before they come down.
Yeah, want to get by before they come down because you know they're going to come down. It's just physics.
So Blaze Alexander has been the billiard ball in this high-stakes game of pool here this afternoon at Bristol. Car's in bad shape. He's okay, and we're a couple of laps away from the green flag. Return with us in a moment to Bristol Motor Speedway. Bristol Motor Speedway in Northeast Tennessee, hosting the Busch Series Grand National Division race here this afternoon. These shots from the Pennzoil Copter Cam, keeping track of everything that's going on in the racetrack. Still under caution here, expecting to go back to green in just a moment. Well, we have had to this point in the first 102 laps typical Bristol action. On lap number 5, trouble.
Mike Wallace trying to dodge the spinning Mark Krog. He was able to do it.
Then lap number 15 again. Mike Wallace, this time more damage to the car as he gets involved in a big crash here on the main straightaway.
Damage front and rear. Then Jeff Krog, the 56 car, breaks the pattern bar, goes to turn 1.
Blaze Alexander and Dick Trickle get tangled up. And then, just a few laps ago, this is the reason for most recent caution. Alexander again into the wall with maybe a little help from Tony Stewart. Here's Bill Weber.
And this race car will be a coffee table pretty soon. I know you're disappointed, Blaze. A couple of on-track incidents there.
Well, we had a plan to stay out there. We knew we wouldn't be as fast as the other guys that got tires, but you know, Al and these guys do an awesome job in rescue engine formula. It's been behind us, and we've been finishing all the race. I guess it's bound to happen. And you know, this track, it'll bite you quick. And I was just, I guess, getting pushed around the rookie thing or something.
You learn here in a hurry, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, that's Blaze Alexander. He's finished for the day. You race here fast, and you learn here fast.
Yes, indeed. A lot of damage to the car. Buckshot Jones is the leader of this race. 103 laps completed.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, when muscles hurt.
Time that he did the first time. The caution, the 4th of the afternoon, waves as we near the 100 lap mark.
Yeah, there's lots of damage to this car. As a matter of fact, the rear of the car is dragging the ground. So if he's able to continue, it will be at a much reduced pace.
Former ARCA driver in his 7th start in the NASCAR Busch Series. Here's the replay of what happened. Tony Stewart was right behind him along with Elton Sawyer.
Going down in the corner, and
Ooh, he gets hit before he ever gets to the corner.
I would think that Blaze Alexander backed off to go in the corner a little bit sooner than Tony Stewart thought he would, and touched him in the rear. Wouldn't you think, Kyle?
Yeah, that's just, you know, there you see there's already got some damage on it, so he's probably checking up a little bit, and Tony just runs in on him and just bumps him in the rear. And you see the car. He slides from turn.
Once again, the Pennzoil Copter Cam will give us a view, and I mean, it just doesn't. It takes so little. And look at all these cars. How in the world all these cars miss him is beyond me. Andy Santerre just barely gets under it.
The 34 car drove through another one.
Our Bridgman Stratton onboard camera. Watch this. When you see him going up the hill, Kyle, you hit the gas as hard as you can. Want to get by before they come down.
Yeah, want to get by.
So, high-stakes game of pool here this afternoon at Bristol. Car's in bad shape. He's okay, and we're a couple of laps away from the green flag. Return with us in a moment to Bristol Motor Speedway. Bristol Motor Speedway in Northeast Tennessee here this afternoon. These shots from the Pennzoil Copter Cam, keeping track of everything that's going on in the racetrack. Still under caution here, expecting to go back to green in just a moment. Well, we have had to this point in the first 102 laps typical Bristol action. On lap number 5, trouble.
Mike Wallace trying to dodge the spinning Mark Krog. He was able to do it.
Then lap number 15 again. Mike Wallace, this time more damage to the car as he gets involved in a big crash here on the main straightaway.
Damage front and rear. Then Jeff Krog, the 56 car, breaks the pattern bar, goes to turn 1.
Blaze Alexander and Dick Trickle get tangled up. And then, just a few laps ago, this is the reason for most recent caution. Alexander again into the wall with maybe a little help from Tony Stewart. Here's Bill Weber.
And this race car will be a coffee table pretty soon. I know you're disappointed, Blaze. A couple of on-track incidents there.
Well, we had a plan to stay out there. We knew we wouldn't be as fast as the other guys that got tires, but you know, Al and these guys do an awesome job in rescue engine formula. It's been behind us, and we've been finishing all the race. I guess it's bound to happen, and you know, this track, it'll bite you quick. And I was just, I guess, getting pushed around the rookie thing or something.
You learn here in a hurry, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, that's Blaze Alexander. He's finished for the day. You race here fast, and you learn here fast.
Yes, indeed, a lot of damage to the car. Buckshot Jones is the leader of this race. 103 laps completed.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, when muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream, rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream, because it works.
Jones and Sattler down the backstretch. Running in the third position is Kevin Grubb. car Tracy Leslie is third in line on the racetrack, but he is a lap car. Here is Grubb trying to get to the inside of it.
Here on cold tires, whether you've got new tires or old tires, it doesn't make any difference. Cold tires, and you just got to be patient, waiting for the guy in front of you to wear his tires enough where he slips a little bit. Kevin's car's working really good now. If he just gives it a couple laps, he'll be able to work his way back.
Kevin is in his 7th start in the Busch Series. His best finish was just last weekend. His recent race at Darlington, he finished 15th after running in the top 10 most of the afternoon.
He finally gets underneath, just like Kyle said. He waited a couple laps. He was able to get underneath Tracy Leslie and go on by. Now, can he hold back Dale Earnhardt Jr.? No.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. moves to third. Remember, he started from the pole position in this race. And Tim Fedowa has some smoke coming from the left front of that car.
It looks like you probably made some contact with someone on the left side.
Get up there, be smooth.
I tell you what,
Stay with it. Keep it right if you can.
he lost the left front wheel. You can see it bouncing down the back straight, and that's what I was getting ready to say. The way he drove into that corner.
Talk to me, you okay?
Watch this, watch this.
Watch the wheel.
And as a final insult, the tire comes down and bangs the car.
He's getting out, but the way the smoke was coming out of the left front, it looked like a hub had burned up. And that's about what it looked like. The hub burned up, come off the left front, and he drove it straight in the corner with no brakes.
And he went straight to the wall, too, and hit it hard.
Man, this racetrack, and look at the rear tire. Look here in the back of the car where the rear tire ran into the loose wheel, ran into the back of the car. Look at the damage it did.
Tim is okay. Taking the helmet off and unbuckling and getting out of the car. Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, the indication from down here in the Kleenex pit is that it was a wheel bearing that was the problem, and Tim Fedowa has climbed out of the car. He's heading this way right now. We'll see if we can get a word with him as he comes across. It appears the driver is okay, but the car is definitely not. Tim, it looks like maybe you had a wheel bearing go out there. Pretty hard hit for you.
Yeah, it wasn't a wheel bearing. It was a brake. Something, you know, I felt it go. I slowed up a little bit. I went down in here, and like the rotor broke, man. It just went straight in the wall.
Are you okay?
I don't know yet.
Guys, you get an awful hard lick here at Bristol on the half mile.
Here's the replay of what happened as Fedowa went into turn 1.
He goes down the corner, turns in the corner, and all of a sudden there, the left front wheel just leaves. Bam.
And you can see where everyone else is slowing down at that point in time, his car seemed to accelerate as the left front wheel came off of it and snapped the brake lines. When he hits that brake pedal, there's nothing there. It goes straight to the floor.
Another replay. Watch as he goes. Watch that left front wheel just leave. Phil Parsons said, wow, look at that, as he goes by. See, Tim Fedowa just Kyle, he just thinks it's a brake because he went down the corner. He hit the brake pedal. There was nothing there. He thinks something happened to the brakes. He doesn't realize that he did, in fact, he has no. Watch this tire now. Now, that's adding no insult to injury. You know, I mean, that is really the ultimate right there.
And that did the biggest damage to the car, look like. Here it is again from another angle. The tire just leaving the car, and Tim Fedewa hard into the wall. 3 years ago in this race, he had his best finish. In the fall race, I should say, he had his best finish here at Bristol when he came home third, but it will be an early out for Tim here today. As the tire comes bounding down the backstretch.
You can see the rotor in the background right there. It's not the rotor.
Yep. And there is the contact with the car. We're nearing the halfway point now of the More Snacks 250 from Bristol. Signal. Boy, this place is magnificent, isn't it?
Oh, it is gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Down to Bill Weber just before green.
Okay, just update 2 cars. First of all, the 3. Remember, we talked about Dale Jr. being loose early in the race. When he pitted, they tightened him up. Well, they went too far. So when he comes in next time, they'll make a track bar and air pressure adjustment to loosen him up. As for Kevin Grubb in the 52 car, the great race continues. He'd never seen this place before Thursday. He's 19 years old. He came in here. He practiced well. He had a great qualifying run. He's having a great race. They made 1 pit stop. They put in some fuel and 4 tires and sent him back out. So that's a great story unfolding there in the 52.
The one thing he has going for him, Bobby King, his crew chief team manager, has been here many, many times and able to set that car up. And obviously Kevin can drive it once it's set up.
We're back to racing on lap 121. Just 4 away from the halfway mark. Now Grubb caught on the outside. Here comes Randy LaJoie in the 74 to take the spot away.
The quick gets down to the inside, blocks Matt Kenseth from taking another spot. Meanwhile, there's the 63 car once again, Tracy Leslie. This is Dick Trickle looking back at LaJoie coming on up right behind him.
Leslie is a lap down to the 63 car. He's just on the 23rd spot. Froze several times since he had the crash up in turn number 2. There's the interval between first and second. Jones and Elliott Sadler.
There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Served in the NASCAR Busch Series.
It definitely is. You look at these guys, 4 out of the top 5 guys are what, under 22 years of age? Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that this has become a good proving ground for the young drivers to move in the Winston Cup.
The 57 car, Jason Keller, is doing very well. He started way back in 37th position, and he is currently in 7th. Now, he made a pit stop in the very early going during that big crash we had here on the front stretch. So it's been a while since he did pit, but it has resulted in track position that has moved him up to 7th.
That's the 38 car, Elkie Sawyer, and he takes a look on the inside. Look at the back car. That's when Jeff Burton was here talking to Jeff Burton. He said he ran in the back of the 38 car. No wonder he broke the radiator, huh? Kyle, a lot of damage in the back of the 38.
Yeah, a lot of damages. Like they say, it doesn't have to be a show car to win the race up here, man. You don't have to win any beautiful contest out of this thing.
And if your car comes out of Bristol without any gouges in it, you have really accomplished something.
And it's Sadler, the 66 Phillips car, is falling back in the clutches of Dale Earnhardt, the Goodrich, the HC Delco Chevrolet. Excuse me, I'm getting confused with his dad.
Took a look to the inside there. Well, riding with Dick Trickle. Now, he is 3 laps down in 29th position, but he's riding right up there and racing with Earnhardt.
He has a good race car today. He just spent too much time in the pits. He's had 2 unscheduled pit stops on the green.
And you look at something like this and you think, well, you know, what's Trickle messing with this guy for? You got to remember, Trickle's running for points. Dale Jr.'s running for points. These guys are all within the top 5 or 6 in points. They're looking at the bigger picture right now, not just this one race.
It's by Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And there is Randy LaJoie in 4th position.
38 car and 17 car, Matt Kenseth. And Elton Sawyer looks on the inside. The Barbasol Ford takes over that spot for the 17. That's 6th spot.
Elton Sawyer, right? Couldn't resist the line.
You know, we talked about earlier in the season that Matt Kenseth, Robbie Riser did not have a sponsor in the 17 car. You see the sponsor on the car, Lycos, after their great run at Rockham, the victory there, these folks came on board, and they will be on board for the rest of the year.
Lycos, of course, is described as an internet guide, a browser that you will find on the internet.
Is that on the computer?
If you're not into the internet, BP, that's a lot of fun. You can learn a whole bunch of stuff getting on the internet, including what's going on in NASCAR. Kenseth is in 7th position. There's Tony Stewart and Kevin LePage.
Not a battle for position. There is a battle for position between the 21 and 75, also 29. And here's a great battle for the 2nd spot.
Yeah, this is probably the best battle on the racetrack, as Earnhardt looks like he's going to take 2nd from Elliott Sadler, indeed. Now, these guys have fallen about 2.5 seconds back from Buckshot Jones. While those two were racing together, Buckshot just separated himself a little bit from the rest of the field. Bill Weber.
Well, when Elliott Sadler pitted, they made an air pressure adjustment, and they might have gone a little too far with that. They're going to correct that when he pits next time, but that's not their biggest concern. Elliott told me before the race he felt the flu coming on for 2 days, and his crew member just told me he does not feel very good in that race car right now. He said he drank enough Gatorade to last him 2 weeks before this race. He wasn't even sure it was going to last him the 2 hours.
Position here. That's the 29 of Hermie Sadler, the 21 of Michael Waltrip. The battle is for 13th spot.
Last lap, Hermie Sadler, the 29 car, the DeWalt car, just about spun out. Is Michael Waltrip trying his best to work that top groove?
A couple of the Fords had moved up there. Michael had moved up there. Elton Sawyer had moved up right before the last caution and was really beginning to make it work for him on the outside, and had moved up and picked up 2 or 3 positions. When you get up in the top 5 or 6 here, a little bit harder to make that outside groove work.
Speaking of Elton Sawyer, that was for 5th position.
And Grubb is starting to fall back just a little bit.
22 cars on the lead lap as we are now well past the halfway mark. 142 laps are in the books.
Freestar, that's one of the banks in Virginia. Elton gets a great run. He's going on down the corner. Kevin, he's coming. Fortunately, Kevin heard me.
Elton gets a really good run up off the corner at him. It's a good jump at him. It's just not enough to get all the way up to his doors.
Working hard. Meanwhile, Kenseth has caught up to the lap. Now make it a 3-car race for position. Elton Sawyer coming into this event 13th in the point standings. His best finish here came in the fall race in 1987 when he was 4th.
Now watch this. He's going to get a run off this corner. Try to get his momentum to dive under him. Can't do it. To pass him on these short racetracks right here, you got to get under him off the corner and get that position. It doesn't do you good to outrun him going in the corner, except this time Kevin Grubb wisely backed off and let him go.
Kelly Denton is in the wall coming off corner number 2. He's all the way down the backstretch. Car still rolling. No caution at the moment.
They're going to have to throw a caution to get him off the racetrack, but I don't see a place he can get in. Car's all the way around the racetrack.
Denton still going very slowly up against the wall, and you're right, there's just no opportunity to dive down low and get into the pits because the racetrack is full of high-speed race cars. He's made a complete lap. Now they're going to throw the caution.
Again, they have to because he's only running 30 miles an hour. The rest of these cars running 120 miles per hour. There's just no way to turn left. They slow the cars down, so fortunately he's able to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Kevin LePage slows down, as does the rest of the field. And we are under caution once again
Still
here
close.
at Bristol.
Pace car hasn't picked you up yet.
Denton, meanwhile, has made his way to his pit here on the front straightaway, as the pace car is about to come out and pick up the leader of the race, Buckshot Jones. At about a half-second lead on the field, but now that is wiped out with the caution. Track crew's going to come out and check all the way around this place to see if any sheet metal was shucked off of the car of Kelly Denton as it hit the wall and then went completely around the track.
100 laps to go. This might be the last stop for some of these cars, Kyle.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that not right before that caution that the 3 car wouldn't begin to reel in the 00 just a little bit. You know, he complained
Middle of the back stretch.
that his car was a little bit tight. Maybe you guys adjusted it too much, but the racetrack could have been coming to him. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustment Dale Jr. makes this time if this is the last caution or the last pit stop.
They are only allowed to change 2 sets
Give
of
yourself plenty of
tires.
room now. Come on. We're going to get 4.
Here they come.
Give yourself plenty of room.
45 miles an hour is the speed limit down pit road. Bill Weber, they're headed toward you.
And they tiptoe down here all the way toward turn 1. Triple pitch, 00, Buckshot Jones, then Earnhardt, then Elliott Sadler. Watch to make sure Earnhardt gets in his pit. He's okay. Extra man across the wall to clean the windshield. Right side tires going on. The
Turn to the left. Whoa.
They'll make a chassis adjustment on the 3 and on the 66. Now they'll come around to the left side tires on the 00 and the 66. The 3 took a little longer on the right side, still working on the right front. That's going to cost them some precious time. Now working on Buckshot's car. Looks like Elliott Sadler's going to be the first one out. Followed by Tony Stewart at the 17.
Go hard.
Buckshot is down. Earnhardt's car continues to flounder off pit road. They work on the left rear. The 3 cars on the ground. He's away.
And that's what we mean by track position, folks. Dale Earnhardt had trouble on the right front and sat there for way too long and lost several positions because of it.
What happened on the right front, Kyle? Did you see?
He had a gun broke. As soon as he went down to his knees and hit the first lug, the gun broke. He pitched it across the hood. It just took an extra 4 or 5 seconds to get another gun over there. Wow.
We'll take it to the break here under caution. Bristol Motor Speedway, the Moores Stacks 250 for the Busch Series Grand National Division here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
For you here, the lug nut stuck in the turret here. The lug nut just got stuck in there. They couldn't pry it loose, so Kyle spotted it. That was their problem. Cost them a lot of time and track position. So that's the ailment the 3 bunch had. So they've had 2 pit stops here at Bristol after the pole winning run. They've had a little trouble on both of them. That's another learning experience for some of these young guys here at Bristol.
32 cars remain on the racetrack at the moment. One of the cars out of the race is Tim Fedewa, who crashed in turns 1 and 2 earlier in the race. This is what happened.
Watch as the left front wheel just leaves the car. Just broke off, left the car, and left Fedewa go straight in the wall. Now he's going to go down and hit the inside wall. Bam. Now watch the tire. It's chasing him. It's chasing him. I got you. Sure enough, it's got him, Ray.
But it sure did, Benny, and you can see right here, this is the spindle that came off the Kleenex car, and it is totally busted. That's what happened. Now, the base motorsports team is down here working very, very hard to try to get that car back in the race. But the problem is here at Bristol, the laps click by so quickly, and we have less than 100 laps to go before this thing's over.
Indeed we do, but we are back to racing now. Elliott Sadler is the leader of the race. Tony Stewart is second, followed by Matt Kenseth. 4th position is Jones, and 5th is Elton Sawyer. First 3 cars right together.
Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart, that reminds me of Rockingham. Doesn't it remind you of Rockingham?
It sure does. They had quite a slugfest on the final lap. Kenseth coming out the winner, and they're running right together again. Look at the pit summary. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came in second, and because of that problem with the gun and the nut, he ends up 11th coming out of the pits.
And with just 100 laps to go, or less, about a little over 90 laps to go, it's hard to imagine Earnhardt Jr. being able to work his way back to the front. That's not to say he can't do it. It's going to be quite a drive if he's able to make it.
Stewart and Kenseth still nose to tail out there. Got to give a call to these young drivers who performed so well here this afternoon. We got Elliott Sadler leading Stewart second, Kenseth third, Buckshot fourth. I guess the old man in this group is Elton Sawyer.
He is.
He's the old man, and he's a young guy. So
yeah, exactly.
It's amazing to think that all these guys are 21, 22, 23, 19 years old, whatever, and they're doing as well as they are in a place as tough as Bristol.
And let's not forget about Kevin Grubb, who's at the back of that fivesome that now comes down the front stretch.
Tony Stewart was running ninth when that caution flag waved. He made a pit stop at the restaurant and came out running second. I talked to some of the pit crew, Tony Stewart's pit crew this morning, and they work about 3 days a week, 3 days a week, making sure their pit stops are up to par.
They perform well.
Oh, some contact, more contact.
All this from the Pennzoil copter cam. They're following these cars around the racetrack, and we're seeing some bumping and banging as usual. Now here's Kenseth to the inside again. He's been trying and just can't pass Tony.
I think Tony's holding them up just a little bit in the middle of the corner. Matt gets a good run in, but he just like before, he can't get far enough up on him to take the line getting in the corner. Buckshot's getting impatient. Elton's getting impatient. These guys.
We're going to do it a couple more times. It's going wrong.
Because as you can see, and when they sprint into the right shot.
Clear. Side.
Elliott Sadler has checked out on these guys.
Yeah, he's loving this. Elliott is loving this.
He's built up 2.1 seconds.
You're inside. He's in there. Car.
Now here comes Buckshot.
They're clearing it.
Of Kenseth. Well, he was.
Wow. And look, he's going to try it on the outside. No.
Yeah, he is.
He is going to try it on the outside. Here he goes. Now, this is going to be a tough match if he can make
Still clear. Still clear.
He could get himself caught up there and lose several positions, but he's going to try to get the spot away from Tony Stewart.
That is a gutsy move by Matt Kenseth, and now he's going to make it work.
Up and back. There you go.
Impressive.
You think these guys had 100 years experience driving here and making moves like that? That's an incredible move at this stage in the race. He's the first guy I've seen pass any of the lead cars on the outside all day long.
Bill Weber.
Well, this is working very well for Elliott Sadler, as you pointed out. They wanted that car to run in some clean air. That's why they were so happy with their fast pit stop. They needed him to get out front to find exactly how that car is going to handle. They took some light out. They made the air pressure adjustment we talked about. If he stays in that clean air, he's going to be okay. And the further he is, Benny, the better he feels.
Buckshot spinning after contact with Stewart.
Get her started back up. The caution's out. Get her started back up.
He's got to go or he's going to get lapped. He's got to go.
Gotta go. Gotta go. He's coming outside you right now. Gotta go.
And he's going to
Get on that racetrack. You gotta beat him back.
Yep, he's going to make it.
He's lapped. He got back, but he's a lap down. Elliott passed him going down the backstretch, I think. I could be wrong.
You can't let somebody pinch you off and spin yourself. You'd have been better off letting him go.
Well, some words of wisdom there from the spotter. Buckshot knows that now.
It's a hard lesson to learn, though. Believe me, having a car as good as Buckshot's car is and being that impatient, it's a hard lesson.
Here's what happened to bring out our 7th caution of the race.
44, Tony Stewart, the shell car. 00 Buckshot. Here, Buckshot is going to try to get under him. He gets that nose. He starts under him. There makes some contact right there. Now look at Buckshot on the apron of the racetrack, and the apron is only banked about 15 degrees. Not enough. He loses the back end as he tries to pass Tony Stewart. And I tell you, he's lucky he did hit the inside wall. Kyle, what do you see?
Yeah, it's the same thing. He gets in there. He's just the lane opens up, but he gets into him just a little bit, and they drive back down across the apron, just like you say. De-wedges the car. It gets loose coming up out of the corner. And it's just a little bit, just like his spotter said, you know, he'd been better off to let him go and get another run at him at another time. Now he's sitting here, fastest car on the racetrack, a lap down.
One more shot.
Good job by Elton Sawyer here and the others to avoid Buckshot after he did spin.
And there you see the contact. And there you see Buckshot on the apron. Half the car was on the apron, as Kyle said. When that left front goes down, it de-wedges, and around he goes. And luckily, he did not go back across the racetrack because it would have been a mess.
Yet another crash here at Bristol has brought out our 7th caution flag of the afternoon as Buckshot Jones spins coming out at turn number 2. Elliott Sadler is the leader with 173 laps completed. Back to Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee as we get set to go back to racing. Let's take a look at the AutoZone race recap. Elliott Sadler, the current leader. He's led 24 of the 175 laps, 5 lead changes, 7 caution periods, averaging almost 73.5 miles an hour. Before he was out of the race, the car of Buckshot Jones led the most laps. As a matter of fact, he will get the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps in this race. Sadler, Alexander, and those others have also picked up 5 bonus points for leading. And we have 2 cars off the track, Fialon, who crashed, and also Jeff Krogh. And a long list of drivers that are out of competition here. All right, back to racing. Elliott Sadler, followed by Tony Stewart, Elton Sawyer, and in this position is Kevin Grubb.
There's first. The 17th car, Matt Kenseth, is in second. Buckshot a lap down.
Buckshot drops back to 21st position by losing that lap.
Still a long way to go in this thing, 70 laps.
Looking good, just keep it coming.
Jason Keller, that 57 car, he really has run a terrific race today.
Yes, he has. And here's several cars that are battling for position. That's Stewart, Grubb, Jason Keller. Randy LaJoie is in this thing. So is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Grubb gives a great run on Stewart. Tried to get under, couldn't quite make it. Meanwhile, Jason Keller trying to get under him. Everyone is just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen. And it usually does.
Here's some cars that are on the move. Jason Keller from 37th to 6th. Bill Parsons having a pretty good battle there. Pretty good show here today. 39th to 7th.
And finally, Kevin Grubb gets alongside Tony Stewart. And looks like he will push Stewart back another spot. Jason Keller also by. Here comes Randy LaJoie.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. also. But Tony was able to get down in front of Randy LaJoie, and so will not lose those 2 positions, at least right now. Saw the car going very slowly on the bottom of the racetrack on the apron. Actually, that's Joe Bessie who is back in the race. 153 laps down.
LaJoie gets passed by Dale Earnhardt Jr. LaJoie, 2-time champion.
Bill Weber has a report on Tony Stewart.
Good run, Bob, but as we close in on lap 190, Tony's car is tightening up, so he's got a bit of a handling problem. Tony Stewart's car is tight.
Stewart has competed here at Bristol a couple of times, but he is certainly at home on high-banked racetracks. Of course,
a couple laps ago, we went back in the pack, and there sees the 2-car of Ron Barfield, New Holland car, bam, almost ran the back of Phil Parsons, the Duralube car, and someone, bam, ran in the back of him.
That for 16th, 17th, and 18th position, so it doesn't make any difference whether you're battling up front or in the middle of the pack. There's action all around. Tony Stewart gets shoved up and will lose a couple of more spots as now Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Randy LaJoie passing by. That 14 car of Patty Ruiz is a lap down in 22nd position. take a look now at the points as they stand. Matt Kenseth would go to the top of the standings in Busch Series with LaJoie second, and Mike McLaughlin, who entered this race in the lead, would drop down to third. McLaughlin in this race is running in 12th spot, and then 6 through 10 also. Jones would be in the 6th spot.
Got battles all around. This was a battle for 4th spot. Jason Keller and Kevin Grubb. We go back to 2nd spot. Elton Sawyer, the Barbasol Ford, has caught Matt Kenseth. He's right there. And he's going to go to that spot and take it away.
Nice move, Bill Weber. He moved up another spot.
And this is a really great run for Elton Sawyer at a track he used to hate. He used to hate coming to this racetrack. But last fall, before qualifying, he walked in here and he said, I think I've got it figured out. Like it came to him as he was sleeping. So he came in, he had a great qualifying run, had a great race here last fall, then had a very vicious track, but came back with a good car and the confidence to win. He's running well here. There's also some speculation his Barbasol team could expand to a 2-car operation in 1999. You're right, Dunlap.
Bill, there's another driver out there that's really having a great run, and that's Jason Keller in the number 57 car. Folks, he qualified with a provisional back in 37, and right now he just moved to 4th spot on the racetrack. What a great run.
Yes, indeed. Keller, Earnhardt, LaJoie, and Grubb now, as Kevin Grubb lost some positions there.
As a matter of fact, Jason Keller, you see his unsponsored car, has a deal next week in Texas. Justin Boots, the Western Boot folks, will sponsor that car in a 1-race deal.
Elliott Sadler has a 1.5-second lead on the rest of the field. Elton Sawyer is running second as the 200-lap mark is just 2 laps away. 206 laps old. There's the leader, Elliott Sadler. There are battles continuing all over the place. Here's Mike McLaughlin running in 12th position.
Bobby Hillin Jr. in the 8th car is in 13th. The 63 car of Tracy Lesson, the Lysol car, is a lap down to these vehicles.
He's running back in 23rd.
Nevertheless, he's racing them.
And this thing is far from over because Sadler had over a second lead now, and Elton Sawyer has trimmed away a bit of it.
There's Michael Waltrip trying to get by Bobby Hillin. It's a battle for the 13th spot, and Mike Dillon, Detroit Gaston car, in there. He's running in 15th right now.
And Hillin sliding high up onto the banking coming out of 4.
Yeah, he's just running that high groove, and it seems to be he's not gaining anything on the guys in front of him, but he's not losing anything either. You know, he's coming off high, keeping that momentum up.
Stewart and Dale Jarrett, who we haven't talked much about this afternoon, but he's up to 9th.
He is. They've moved up to 9th spot. He's done it ever so quietly, though, because I had not even noticed it. I thought that it was Dale Jarrett that brushed the outside retainer wall with that big crash off turn 4. It was, in fact, the Shane Hall automobile that brushed the wall. I said that earlier in the show.
Dale Jarrett has won here in Busch Series competition at Bristol. He took the checkered flag in the fall race back in 1991. He has 11 wins to his credit in Busch Series action. His most recent victory was at Homestead in November of 1995.
Oh, we got a heavy crash.
Big crash. Mike Dillon and Michael Waltrip both into the wall.
Man.
Dillon able to drive away. Waltrip still sitting there. Caution out once again. Jarrett did not escape this unscathed. He's dropped down off the banking, is on the apron of the racetrack, and he's headed for his pit.
And pit road is not open, so obviously he has some kind of problem. He would not be going to the pits.
Car looks pretty clean. but something is wrong, obviously.
They're talking about the drive shaft of the rear gear on the car being broken. You ever see Mike Dillon and Mike Waltrip making that contact, and they just in unison spin down through the...
Joe Bessie was going real slow down the apron and almost got collected, didn't he?
Right along the channel lock car, Kevin LePage, as he comes off turn 4.
No problem. Got through cleanly.
Mike McLaughlin looks back on them as Michael Waltrip tries to go on the outside. Can't quite make it, and there's where he and Dillon make the contact. There you see Bessie on the inside. That
DJ is out of the car. Looks like Ray's right there, too.
Dale, we noticed that the rear end of the car's got a good bit of grease on there. Looks like some sort of a driveline problem put you out.
Yeah, something happened to the rear end. I started smelling some grease about 3 laps before it happened. It's a shame. Car was awful good. Started far back and pitting back here, but made up a lot of ground the way it is.
Kind of cautiously coming up through that field, and in the closing laps of this race, looked like you had a car that might get you a top 10.
Oh, yeah, we had already moved into the top 10, and I think we could have got to the top 5 if we had enough laps, but yeah, I was trying to be cautious coming up through. Wanted to bring the car home.
Let's go to Bill Weber.
The last guy that wanted to see a caution is Elliott Sadler. Sandy Jones is his crew chief. Looks like the 38's catching you. How is your car?
We're just a little bit loose right now, Bill, but the Phillips 66 Chevrolet's run pretty good all day, and we got about 34, 35 laps here to see what's happening.
And he feels a little sick. He said he feels like he has the flu coming on.
Yeah, he's got a little bit touch of the flu or something. This is the best medicine for him right here to be out front.
Okay, and Elliott did radio in. That's the last thing I wanted to happen, a caution.
34 laps remain in this race. We're getting down to it here. Will Elliott Sadler be able to hold on to the lead, or will it be Sawyer, Kenseth, Keller, Earnhardt, LaJoie, Grubb, Stewart, Sadler, or Purvis? We know it will not be Dillon and Waltrip. They just crashed here on the front stretch. What you see is not good. We had a major mess over in turn number 2 just after the green flag. Randy LaJoie had just gone back into the points lead and got caught up, as did others, in a big one over in 2. There's Tony Stewart. Hermie Sadler is badly damaged. He's going to the behind the wall here on the front stretch. A lot of smoke and steam coming from that machine.
Randy LaJoie's out of his car. There must be a lot of damage to the right side that we're not able to see. And the 4 car of Jeff Purvis, he really hit. Is that Randy LaJoie he hit so hard over there? He T-boned someone, I guess. I'm assuming it was the right side of Randy LaJoie's car as Purvis crossed from his car.
Looks like everybody is okay, but man, what a mess. All right, we'll show you what happened here.
Going down the corner, Buckshot Jones, 00. 3-car Dale Earnhardt Jr. 74 right there. There's something wrong with the 00 car. He has a flat tire or something, and it's caught the 74 car. Bill Weber?
Right front tire, Ben. He blew the right front tire.
Man, he goes down the corner. The right front tire is flat. It will not turn. He touched the 74 car, which spun him, and then just no place to go. Tony Stewart hits the back of the 00, gets run the back of the 29, and look, that's Bobby Hillen that T-bones Jeff Purvis. So I'm glad I saw Purvis get out of the car before I saw this replay.
And you can see that the track was virtually blocked there for a moment. There was just no space anywhere.
Our point leader, Mike McLaughlin, sees the crash. And drove right through it.
Man, we got a red flag. We got a red while you watch this other replay from Kevin LePage's perspective. Kevin had some racetrack ahead of him that looked like he was going to make it through, and then got hit from the behind. Here we go again from another angle.
Here we see the right front tire going flat. 74 car in the wall. And boom, the 8 car Hillen into the 4 car. And cars just...
Well, we have a skirmish down in the pit area. Some tempers are flaring. It's a rather warm day here. And when you when you get to Bristol, things do happen. Ray Dunlap?
Well, Bob, it's a mess down here. That's all I can tell you. Mike Dillon is not happy at all. He and Michael Waltrip had quite a little bit of a skirmish down here. This kind of reminds me of what went on just a week ago whenever we had a little problem between Phil Parsons and Blaze Alexander. And you're right, when the temperatures go up and that kind of stuff happens on the racetrack, these things do happen.
But hopefully tempers also cool off as quickly as they rise, and everybody realizes that that's racing. So with the red flag out and the big cleanup going on in turn number 2, we'll take a break and be back with more of the More Snacks 250.
Don't make up our damn mind.
Well, Bob, I caught up with Randy LaJoy here. Randy, third in points coming into this race, and it's just a big mess out there on the racetrack. What happened?
On the restart, one of the lap cars got in the side of me and turned me around. You know, that's Bristol racing. I mean, ain't a whole lot we can do. Phoenix Chevrolet Monte Carlo is running good. We're looking for a top 5, you know, and we're just a little too tight to go after the leaders, but got back there with some squirrels, I guess, and I'm not sure what happened. One of the guys just pushed up and got in the side of us. I just hope it wasn't intentional, because this has got a long season to go yet.
It looked like the 00 might have blown the tires, what they're telling us from upstairs.
I don't know, before or after he hit me. I hope it was before. I mean, that's racing, man. You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, it was definitely before, Randy. Guys?
Going after his 3rd straight championship this year in base motorsports, going for their 4th consecutive title in Busch Series action. Let's take a look at it once again.
Double Zero is the car we're talking about. The right front tire is going to be flat. When he goes to the corner, the car will not turn. It goes in the corner and just goes straight up. It watches it right now. It just starts going straight.
That forces Kevin Grubb up into the wall and then sets off the chain reaction that involves Stewart and Sadler and many, many others. Hermie Sadler there in the 29 car on the bottom of the racetrack. Bill Weber is with him.
And Hermie came in 6th in points, a couple of top 10s. A good start to the season for the DeWalt Chevy, and a fairly good run here until this mess. What did you see?
Well, I saw a bunch of cars flying across the racetrack. We had bad track position all day, and I was worried about getting involved in a wreck, and we finally worked our way back up to 6th or 7th some way. And then when a wreck happens at Bristol, there's really no way to go. It's just luck, and so far this year we've been pretty lucky, but just not meant to be today.
You want to get back out there and make at least one more lap, because you'll pass a lot of cars if you do.
That's the plan, but this DeWalt Chevy's still up pretty good, but these guys are digging pretty hard, so we'll do the best we can.
And actually, of course, they can't work right now because we're under the red flag. And Hermie was focused on this race, but he was also thinking about a friend, Chris Trickle, who passed away this week.
We all think about Chris Trickle, who did pass away earlier this week from injury suffered at a drive-by shooting out in Las Vegas last year. We, of course, ran into Chris and saw him race as a winner many times at Winter Heat in Tucson, Arizona. We became very good friends with Chris. He had been suffering in a coma since that incident that happened in Las Vegas, and this past Wednesday he passed away. Our sympathies to Chris Trickle and his family. Snacks 250, more Snacks 250, I should say, at Bristol is under a red. We've completed 221 laps, and the cleanup over in turn number 2 is progressing very well, and we should be going back to racing before too long. Meanwhile, Ray is with Mike Dillon.
Well, Bob, things have cooled down a little bit down here, Mike. We saw a bit of a scuffle over there. What exactly happened in your eyes?
I don't know. We were out there racing pretty hard, and Michael and I got into it at Darlington, and I got into him, and he wrecked his race car. Didn't mean to do it there. Here, I was trying to give him all the room I could out there. Several times, he got under him, I let out of it. Over here, I didn't mean to, get into him, but him and McLaughlin got together first. They got sideways, and heck, I just hit him. I mean, I couldn't check up quick enough. And then he brings himself over here, and then I don't know what happened from there. That really don't matter. I'm sorry that happened. I'm just sorry for Detroit Gasket and Rocco Automation Dodge, and MGM brakes that our car's out now. I mean, I wouldn't try to hit somebody and take somebody out of a race, and let alone myself running up in 12th place from our starting position. So I hate he feels that way, and maybe we can get it worked out.
Things happen in such a hurry here at Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, they got together in front of me, and he slid sideways, and I mean, I tried to check up all I could. I couldn't help but hit him. I was right on him when they got sideways, so, you know, he was mad about it, and, you know, he come by and let it be known what was wrong with him, and when he, you know, that's it. I don't know. I don't want to talk anymore about that part of it. I just hate it for my sponsors, and I hate it for his sponsors.
Have you had a chance to look at the race car? How bad is it?
It's pretty bad. It tore up the car pretty good. It's the first car we tore up this year, and I just hate it for my crew, Dean Johnson and all the guys at the shop. They've given me great race cars all year, and we've been running up front, and it's going to knock us back out of the top 10, but we'll be back. So we'll be at Texas and run good there. Just, you know, I hate it for the guys that have to work on these things more than I do myself and Michael.
And guys, you can see by looking at some of these race cars just how much damage there is. An unbelievable amount of man hours goes into making these cars.
Here's what they're talking about just a moment ago. Mike McLaughlin, we're right along with him. This is the onboard camera. Michael Waltrip trying to go on the outside, and McLaughlin comes up, squeezes him. Michael Waltrip has to get out of the throttle, is what it looks to me like, and Mike Dillon ran the back of him. Kyle?
Yeah, and it's just exactly like Dillon said. No place for him to go. Once Michael made the commitment to go to the outside of the 34 car, as the 34 comes up, Michael's got to squeeze out or turn the 34 car into the outside wall. Michael squeezes up out of it a little bit. Dillon's there. They get together, and, you know, I know we use this expression more than anything else, that's racing, but that really is at Bristol, Tennessee, that's racing.
Yep, you've got to expect things like that to happen. Bill?
This is Bob Sutton, who co-owns the Barbasol Ford that Elton Sawyer's driving. We heard from Sandy Jones on his thoughts with 30 to go. Can Elton catch the 66?
Well, you know, I think catching him's not the problem. I think passing him's going to be the problem, you know. Elliott Sadler's a great driver. Elton's doing a heck of a job. You know, there's those guys are putting up a good race. It's kind of what I like to see. You know, the Taurus is working out really good for us. We're having to figure it out on our own. We're not getting much help, but I think we got a really good race car here. I want to say hi to everybody back at Aikens Ford that's watching us, and thank everybody from our race team that's worked 7 days a week to get these cars where they are, and I really appreciate it. Keith Roberts Racing Engines, the most awesome power we got.
All right, so it's Ford chasing Chevy in the closing laps of the More Snacks 250. Cars are rolling back to green flag action when you rejoin us in a moment.
Yes. We saw 4 up cars, scuffles in the backstretch. Guys they get out, they scuffle for a while, then they get back in the car, they go back out and make more laps. That red flag was good. That's like halftime.
That's right.
The last time Elliott Sadler, I'll get this all mixed up. Elliott Sadler drives a 66. Elton Sawyer drives a 30. The last time on the restart, down the backstretch, Elton Sawyer, the 38 car, got a great run on the 66. And as Bill Weber said, 66 of Elliott Sadler having trouble getting his car up to speed for the first 4 or 5 laps after a restart. Only 23 laps to go.
Get ready. Get ready. Get set. Go, go, go.
Again. However, Sadler hangs on to the lead, and now Kenseth at number 17 tries to take second from Sawyer.
That's what Sawyer was trying to do. He was trying to get high and get that same run again. Did not quite work. It might have worked against him because it might give Elliott Sadler those 4 or 5 laps that his car needs to get up to speed.
Showing smoke.
That's out the exhaust pipe. That's not very good. Here's a battle for 4th spot. 57, Jason Keller, the 3 car. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Earnhardt Jr. was the pole sitter of the race. Right now back in 5th spot. And Jr. looking to the inside. Trickle's view. He's back in 14th spot, 2 laps down. There he
some contact. Is Jason going to save it?
Whoa, he did.
How did he do that? How did he do that?
He was sideways from the exit of corner number 4 to the finish line and gathered it back in.
I think the outside wall helped him just a touch right there. He got it on the right rear, but incredible job of driving and keeping it under control.
Wow. Does that heat up those radial tires to the point that it takes a couple laps for him to come back, Kyle?
It takes a couple of laps for him to come back because he was in a 4-wheel drift, so it heated up all 4 of them. You know, it wasn't like he just buzzed the rear tires. So he's going to have to be patient here and let him come back to him.
Did you see Earnhardt Jr. almost slap the wall on the right side as he came off the 4th corner?
Sure did.
It's a good thing they got 4 feet of racetrack there. He would hit the wall.
Earnhardt Jr. running 4th. Keller is 5th.
Just a moment ago, this is what we're talking about, Jason. It looked like he was going to lose it. Earnhardt Jr. comes up, and right there, just a little contact. Watch the 57. Watch this. And you're right, Kyle. The wall straightened him up.
Sometimes that's all it takes, just a little bit of time.
Jason Keller has 5th spot now. And Ray is with Tony Stewart, one of the victims of that big crash over in 2.
I sure am, Bob. And Tony, I wanted to know from your perspective what happened out there on the racetrack.
Well, it happened about 4 or 5 cars in front of us, but Buckshot said he cut a right front and got up into the lead lap cars, and you know, we tried to get down under him once he got slowed down, but I couldn't get slowed down enough to get under him without hitting him in the run with the right front.
You missed 1 race this year, and then your teammate goes out and wins in the doggone car.
Yeah, and I go out and run second, so I don't know if I'm going to let him do that much more, but Bobby and everyone with Telephonics did a great job last week, and they gave me a great race car this week. We had a motor lay down on us yesterday, and they made changes there, and we made about 15 chassis changes, so we made us a better race car today.
When's your next Busch race?
Next week in Texas.
Good luck. That's Tony Stewart, guys.
No more IRL races until the Indianapolis 500, so Tony will spend a while driving in the Busch Series. There is Elliott Sadler, the leader. Just a year ago here at this race, Phillips 66 Petroleum joined with Elliott and the Diamond Ridge Racing, and he may be giving them a 1-year anniversary present here in the next 9 laps. There are less than 10 to go as Sadler has the lead.
The 99 car, Glenn Allen, the Luxair car in front of the leader, is a few laps down. There's a battle for 2nd and 3rd spot between Elton Sawyer and now Matt Kenseth. The 17 car has caught Sawyer, and it looks like Earnhardt Jr. about to catch this too.
Sneaking right into the picture. I don't know if something's happened to Elton or what, but he's not really. It's not so much that the 66 has gone away, it's that Elton has dropped back, and here's Kenseth going to place with Dale Jr. going to 3rd.
Yep. So Elton Sawyer drops from 2nd to 4th here in just 1 lap.
And the 99 car, Bob pointed out, is in fact on the tail end of the lead lap. He is our 9th place car.
Now Sadler has gotten around him, so he is
coming inside.
A lap down.
Oh, the lap to go.
There is Kenseth got a little sideways off the corner. Battle for 2nd place is what you're watching. This 1.8 seconds behind the leader, Elliott Sadler. From the Pennzoil Company.
4 to go.
4 laps to go. You heard the spotter.
Inside. He's coming inside.
While Elliott Sadler leads, he's just continuing to stretch out his advantage as we listen to Kenseth's spotter telling him
Try it inside once more.
what to do as Dale Earnhardt
There,
tries
he's
to take
inside.
2nd away. Here he is, maybe.
He's all alone if you have to leave him.
Oh, good race.
Kenseth does not want to give it up.
No, great race. There he is. He's inside. Just let him have it. And, you know, he didn't want to give it up, but it's not going to hurt him.
This time around, next time around, Elliott Sadler will get the white flag. 1 more lap to go. He's in turn number 4. White is waiting for Elliott Sadler. Just 1 more trip around the 36 degrees of banking at Bristol. Going into this race, Elliott had 3 career Busch Series wins, and here is the checkered flag, and he wins his 4th career victory at Bristol. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2nd, followed by Kenseth. Elton Sawyer, and Jason Keller. Those are your top 5 in the Morris Max 250.
A little happy down in the Gold 66 pits.
Seems like we can hear some shouting, can't we?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir. A happy bunch of pit crew members that have helped Elliott Sadler win his 4th career NASCAR Busch Series Grand National Division race. We'll be back to talk with him in a moment. Oh, our McDonald's Winner Circle is hosted by Bill Weber.
Well, it's a complimentary shower here of Busch beer and Gatorade, and Elliott Sadler congratulated by his teammates and congratulating them as well. And we might get a word with him. That's his dad.
What a race!
I don't want to come between the son and his father. I thought you were sick, man.
Oh, man, leading laps like this just makes you feel so much better, but I just got to say thanks to Phillips 66, Diamond Riggs Motorsports, Jeff Green. These guys have taught me so much. Gary Belton's the best owner in NASCAR history, and his support behind us is unreal. These guys worked like dogs yesterday in this hot sun. This morning we changed everything in the car, and Phil come in with a victory here is just beyond our longest belief. I tell you, it's great.
And a lot of talented guys trying to catch you, including Elton Sawyer and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Exactly right. And those guys had some fast cars all day. Buckshot Jones and something just happened to him. And we had an awesome pit stop there. We've been practicing pit stops all week. And get out in the lead really made a big difference. And I had a buddy of mine give me this coin this week. He said, if you put that in your seat of your car, you're going to win this race. Well, buddy, he was in the seat of my car. And you know it's going to be in every seat we race from here on out.
You dodged a lot of traffic, too, man.
We did. Traffic was pretty lenient there the last 20 or 30 laps, and the car was just great. This is like one of our little in-house cars we've been experimenting with, and to come to Bristol was just awesome, and to run great. I'd just like to thank Phillips, Chevrolet Monte Carlo, Goodyear tires. Those babies were awesome, and just looking forward to moving on now.
Just like that little track you grew up on, isn't it?
Just like the little track grew up on. Just a little bit more people here, maybe a little bit more banking.
Okay, we talked at the beginning about the youthful enthusiasm and excitement that lies ahead. He just might be the leader for the Busch Series as we race along this season.
A few more people. I think we have quite a few here, about 100,000 on hand here, and the capacity 130,000 will be the number tomorrow. Here's a look at the results. We talked about youth and experience in our open. Well, the youngsters came out on top, but look at the experienced drivers like Keller, who came up from 37th to 5th, and Phil Parsons from 39th to 7th, and a good run for Patty Moise, who did it up into the top 10 despite the fact she was a lap down.
Yeah, past Andy Santerre on a couple of laps to go. That was the off from 21 back. All these cars out of the race. Bobby Hillin, you see why he was trying so hard to run a couple extra laps. He probably picked up 10 positions by doing that. As we look back at the rest of the field, 31-43. Wow, 22 cars out of the race today.
A typical Bristol race. Here's the points. Mike McLaughlin holds on to the points lead, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. is now only 7 behind, and the top 10 is separated by 131 points as Randy LaJoie has slipped to 6th in the point standings now as they go to Texas next weekend. Quite a race, and we have more action from Bristol Motor Speedway coming up for you. Happy Hour on ESPN2 at incidents of 1997. Of course, no injuries in any of the crashes. Well, our congratulations to Elliott Sadler, who pulled into victory lane for the 4th time in his career here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll see you on Happy Hour later this evening and tomorrow for the Food City 500. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.